The month of July promises to be exciting, stimulating, but it will not be for the faint of heart. Powerhouse Uranus, which is electrical energy, will enter Gemini for the first time in 84 years. The lunar nodes will activate moments of fate and destiny. We have 3 planets shifting into retrograde motion, including Mercury, and a new moon in fiery, courageous Leo that will very likely spark a brand new transformational beginning for you, my friend. So in this video, I'm excited to share with you the key transits of July and their dates, along with who is most likely to feel the energies intensely and personally. So grab a pen and paper or your laptop so you can write down what you can expect, and be sure and watch part 1 of this video because that's where I'm going to share with you the most important nuggets of how we can finesse and work with these energies with the most ease and grace. And in part 2, as always, I will be doing July horoscopes for each of the 12 signs based on your rising sign and pulling an oracle card for each of the signs as well. Before we dive in, I want to say hello and welcome. If you are new to the channel, I'm so glad you're here. It's my intention to empower you through Western tropical astrology. This is a like-minded community. If you want to find your tribe and you consider yourself to be highly sensitive, empathic, someone on a spiritual or ascension journey, you're in the right place. Be sure and subscribe so you don't miss a video. And welcome back to those of you who've been watching my videos. I am so glad that we are together here in soul family. If you haven't yet subscribed, please take a moment right now to tap that subscribe button as well as the notification bell. And thank you so much for supporting the channel. I'm Betsy. I'm a psychic astrologer, intuitive life coach, and author, and I do astrology consultations. At the end of the video, I'll tell you more about my consultations and my coaching, so stay tuned for that. I also have a free gift for you. I'll tell you what that is and how you can get it at the end. I write about the astrology every week through my weekly inspirational astrology updates. So if you'd like to receive those updates, go to my website, subscribe for free, and you will get my free instant download gift at the same time. So let's dive into the astrology of July. On July 4th, and you may feel this from the 2nd to the 4th, Venus in Taurus will make a conjunction to Uranus in Taurus. Venus rules money, love, beauty, pleasure, comforts. Uranus is the shaker-upper. Uranus in Taurus is very much connected to finances. The volatile financial markets that we've been having, extreme weather such as earthquakes. This is not the best time to get any sort of plastic surgery, to plan a romantic surprise, unless you love Uranian energy, unless you love the fact that anything could happen, because Venus conjunct Uranus is very much an expect the unexpected. Now, the stock market has gone up quite a bit in the last few days since Venus has come closer to Uranus. So that may continue. But the thing is, expect ups, downs, we don't know. And this is all connected to our material security, self-love, deserving, earned income, our possessions. So it may be a bit of a roller coaster in these areas of life for the first several days of July. Now, after this exact conjunction on July 4th, Venus will leave Taurus and enter Gemini. Gemini is an air sign. In Gemini, we love to connect with like-minded friends, soul sisters, soul brothers, siblings, neighbors. Gemini rules communication, our thinking, divine downloads. If you love to be spontaneous, if you love playfulness, if you love to get silly and be childlike, that's Venus in Gemini. Venus will continue in Gemini for almost the entire month. So I hope that this is going to lighten the energy of this very electrifying month, and I'm going to tell you why it's going to be very stimulating in a moment. Also on July 4th, we have Neptune. Neptune is going to station retrograde, and Neptune is in Aries, and it's representing our ideal, our new vision, what we want to create. You could see it as your next chapter going forward, your new vision, your new dream. But it can also be something leaving your life. It can be a chapter of your life that's ending. It could be something you're grieving. Retrogrades tend to move our focus inward. We tend to become more internal, in this case, internal about our vision or the releasing and letting go of what is washing away for us right now. You may find yourself reflecting, rethinking, or reforming in your mind or in your heart what you most want, what your heart is most connected to now. Now, the electrifying energy is Uranus, which is a powerhouse energy. We call Uranus the Great Awakener. It course corrects us if we are off our path, our soul's path. It gets our attention in any way that it needs to wake us up if we're ignoring our soul's calling, if we're staying in a situation too long because it's comfortable. The whole goal of Uranus is to free and liberate us, to break us out of stagnation. When you hear the words break down, break through, break free, that's Uranus. Uranus moving into Gemini, the air sign of Gemini, which is communication, our thinking, how we're perceiving ourselves and the world and our lives, the story that we're telling about whether we can have, do, or be what we want to do, be, or have. This is all Gemini energy. Uranus has not been in Gemini for 84 years, since 1941 to 1949, which I discuss in my first video on Uranus and Gemini. I have 2 videos that are just on Uranus and Gemini for you that are linked in the description box below. This ingress of Uranus into Gemini is a key part of the massive global shift that is beginning in 2025. And on July 7th, as soon as Uranus lands in the Gemini area of your natal chart, as soon as it lands there, it will begin a harmonious dance with Neptune retrograde, with Saturn, which is about to turn retrograde, and Pluto, which is already in retrograde motion. All of these planets will be within 2 degrees of one another, which is very close. And remember, Saturn and Neptune represent the new dream or vision that we want to make real, that we want to bring into earthly form. So what will Uranus and Gemini do? It's going to help us shift our consciousness. It's going to help to move us in the right place. It can be similar to eclipse energy. I like to say that eclipses pick us up and put us down in the right place that we're meant to be for our soul's growth and evolution. And if Uranus is activating any planets or points in your natal astrology chart, it can feel like an eclipse is happening in your life. You're getting reassigned, so to speak, in relationship, in a job, in your health, in finances. If you have planets or points in the early degrees, 0 to 2 or 3 degrees of the mutable signs, Gemini, Pisces, Virgo, or Sagittarius, you will feel this transit most intensely or personally. But also, since Uranus is dancing harmoniously with Saturn and Neptune in Aries, if you have planets or points in the cardinal signs, Cancer, Capricorn, Aries, or Libra, early degrees, 0 to 2, or in the fixed signs of Aquarius or Leo, you will also feel this transit over the next several months from July to November. I share all the dates and much more in my Uranus and Gemini videos, so please go watch those if you want a deeper dive. On July 10th, we have a beautiful full moon in Capricorn. Capricorn energy helps us to balance, especially a full moon. It helps us to balance our home, family, the things that make us feel comfortable, loved, secure. We're balancing this with career, responsibilities, commitments. This full moon is happening at 18 degrees, so those of you with planets or points between 14 and 22 degrees of the cardinal signs, Capricorn, Cancer, Aries, or Libra, you will feel this most intensely. Because it trines Mars in Virgo, that is a purifying, cleansing, decluttering kind of energy that could have us focused on our health. But full moons are always about a full circle moment, a realization, a truth coming to light, something ending or completing, or something manifesting. Saturn, which is about to go retrograde just after this full moon, is the ruler, and so themes of karmic clearing could also come into play. On July 11th, we're going to have a lovely transit of the Sun in Cancer making a trine to the North Node in Pisces. The North Node represents our destiny. This is very supportive of a karmic or fated moment of connection that makes us feel more emotionally secure. In some way, the Sun in Cancer coming together with the North Node in Pisces wants to support you in moving in the direction of your true north, whatever that is for you. That's July 11th. On July 12th, Saturn in Aries will station retrograde. You may feel your energy turn more inward. You may go back to the drawing board with whatever it is that you want to say yes to right now. This is a big deal, Saturn and Neptune both being in Aries, being so close to each other. This is one of the big global shifts, just like Uranus in Gemini. That's a big global shift. Pluto moving into Aquarius last year, that was a big collective change for all of us. So we are all right now creating a new chapter in our lives from the place of what does my heart really want? What is the new identity, the new role, the new sense of self that I want to express? What do I want to create in the world? You know, for some people, it's buying a house. For other people, it's getting married. For other people, it's moving to another country, building a nest egg, innovating a product. I could go on and on. But if you find yourself wanting to fine tune, or if you find your energy for what that dream is for you starting to wane in July, it's because most likely Neptune and Saturn, which are partners with us in creating this new dream, they're going internal, back to the drawing board, reviewing, reflecting, recalibrating, maybe doing more research, getting advice from other people. And Saturn rules timing, it rules boundaries. I have a whole video for you on Saturn moving into Aries. I have a video for you on Neptune and one on Saturn and Neptune. So this is another, actually July is a great month to be watching these videos and hopefully letting them spark your own intuitive knowing and your own sense of what you want to put time and energy in. We could also spend this time doing some karmic clearing, Saturn. Now, this is really interesting. On July 16th, both Saturn and Neptune, which by this time have stationed retrograde, they're going to be within 13 minutes of each other, which is very, very close. And we're going to be having a moon in Aries. So we have a lot of energies in Aries on this day. And you might feel especially amplified. Something may happen in the collective. It's a lot of heat, all of this Aries energy. And the moon can really activate everybody's subconscious. It may bring up more frustration. Fire needs an outlet. Fire needs to have some expression. Often that just means getting out and taking a brisk walk. But notice on July 16th, and we can always feel these energies a day before, a day after as well. Notice if it feels like the energy is more inflamed. You might feel it inside of you. You may see it in people and events going on outside of you. But this is a day to remember that in Aries energy, we are meant to be our own authority. We are meant to rise up, speak up, advocate for ourselves, activate our internal strength. And of course, I'm talking about in ethical, nonviolent ways. But you could also be incredibly sparked with new inspiration around this time. On July 17th, Mercury in Leo is going to station retrograde. During the retrograde, Mercury will retrace its steps from 15 to 4 degrees of Leo. So those of you who have planets or points between, let's say, 3 and 16 degrees of Leo or the other fixed signs of Aquarius, Taurus, or Scorpio, you will feel this Mercury retrograde more intensely, more personally, especially if anything comes up for you that is very important in communication, the fine details of agreements, any sort of travel that you might be doing or planning, anything electronic or to do with transportation. If anything came up for you between June 29th and July 17th, you may be going back over that or fixing something or reviewing something during the Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrogrades are an invitation to slow down. That is not easy to do in a month that we have Uranus in a new sign, an air sign at that, and we have so much fire. Fire needs movement. Fire is inspirational. Fire makes us want to move forward. So slowing down when Mercury is in a fire sign, that is not easy. And even though Mercury retrogrades can be tricksterish when it comes to travel plans, it can be a wonderful time to take a vacation. Most of you know this by now, but I don't encourage launching anything new or signing any important contracts. Anything that is of long-term importance to you, doing that during a Mercury retrograde can be iffy in terms of its success. But if it's something that you started a long time ago and you just feel in your bones that the timing is right, listen to your intuition. You are the best authority on your own life. On July 20th, we have Mars in Virgo making a conjunction to the South Node of Fate. This is another fated karmic kind of moment for some of us. Mars in Virgo is connected to our health, our daily work, our habits, lifestyle, coworkers, how we move our bodies, what we eat. The South Node in Virgo is encouraging us to release anything that's toxic to us in our lives right now. And that includes perfectionism. That includes being hard on ourselves, being so detail-oriented that we lose the forest from the trees. We want to be extra mindful of our movement, our physical bodies and our movement when Mars is making a conjunction to the South Node, in Virgo especially, but also because Virgo is ruled by Mercury and Mercury is retrograde, paying attention to the fine print and any agreements that we might be entering into. But this can be a time that we're more agitated. Our minds are more agitated potentially. And for those of you who already are prone to anxiety or body image issues, that could get kicked up during this time for us to observe, for us to give ourselves compassion about, to realize with real eyes how we could be doing harm to ourselves rather than loving ourselves just exactly how we are. On July 22nd, the sun enters fiery Leo. I love Leo energy. I have had two parents, they're still with me in spirit, who are Leos. I love the spontaneity. I love the enthusiasm of Leo. I call Leo energy inner child delight because it's connected to the fifth house, and that is playfulness and freedom and creativity, children, laughter, the joy of life. The sun in Leo is at home. It's connected to the heart. But Leo is also our strength. Leo is also the part of us that wants to rise to the occasion, overcome adversity, do something that feels hard to do, to climb that tree, even though we think maybe we can't do it. I love the zest of life that Leo can bring, the joie de vivre that Leo can bring back in for us. And it's time, my friend. Is it not time? I believe it is time. Not only this, as soon as the sun enters Leo, it's going to make an exact sextile to Uranus now in Gemini. The fire of Leo to the air of Gemini. This is a beautiful activation, and you will feel this most intensely or personally if you have planets or points in those early degrees, 0 to 2, 0 to 3, of either the fixed signs or the mutable signs. Now, around the same time, Venus, still in Gemini, is going to make a square to the lunar nodes of destiny and fate. What does this mean? First of all, it's very, very sensitive energy because the lunar nodes are in Pisces and Virgo, and it's very sensitive energy for all of us to be in right now. They are directing us. The North Node in Pisces, this is the direction we're meant to go. The South Node in Virgo, this is the shadow side of how we're doing our lives, our habits, and so on in the earthly realm that we're meant to release. In short, Venus in Gemini squaring the nodes is saying it is time to listen to our intuition, our heart's true knowing, and follow the call of our soul. Answer the call of our soul. So you could feel a bit of a push, a bit of a nudge, a soul nudge, as I call it in my book, The Magic of Saying Yes, to take a step in the direction of what is calling to you right now. Squares do that. Squares are tension or pressure. They activate us to take a step. And with Venus and Gemini, that could be a step in a relationship that is important to you. It could be doing some automatic writing or some journaling. It could be working with a coach, doing some research, making those calls. A lot of ways we can begin to answer the call. And if you want inspiration on this subject, in my book, The Magic of Saying Yes, I tell my whole story about how I was writing to Spirit, asking for a nudge, direction, a sign. And when I got that sign, it was quite shocking, something I never thought I would do, but it took me in the direction of what I would call my destiny. So you may feel a similar tap on the shoulder from your soul around this time of the month, because this is the same time that the sun is activating Uranus and Gemini. And on July 23rd, Venus and Gemini will make a square to Mars and Virgo. So not only is it going to square the lunar nodes, Venus, it's also going to square Mars. And Mars is the planet of action. Mars is the planet that has us taking steps. So you can see that all of these energies together are trying to wake us up to a certain degree, or they're sparking inspiration, or they're showing us what in our lives is not working, or maybe we have an inner conflict because Venus is the feminine within us, our preferences, our desires. Mars is our more inner masculine energy, and in Virgo, it can hold back or it can get us cleaning the closet, taking the garage apart or the basement and getting rid of stuff. That is a great way to use this energy. Anything that gets you moving. And if you can do this with a friend, that will be so much better. Or get some help, because Venus in Gemini, she has more fun when she's doing it with another. Although Mars in Virgo is going to probably want to do it on their own. So hence the square. But use this energy to do something that feels productive. That will be helpful. Or have a brainstorm, mindstorm, heartstorm with a friend. That could also be very productive. On July 24th, we have a beautiful new moon in Leo. Now, there are challenges to this moon, which I'll mention in a moment. But when I say beautiful, I'm referring to the fact that it will trine Saturn and Neptune retrograde. So it's supporting us in this new dream that we're wanting to make real, the new chapter. But the challenge is that it's opposing Pluto, which is saying, in short, anything toxic must go. We have to be aware. Pluto brings truth to light. You may have a realization. You may get some sort of epiphany. Something may be in your face because Uranus is involved too, and Uranus is often in our face, something we can't ignore, or unconscious fears coming up for us to purge. It may be someone else violating a boundary for you. Do for yourself, my friend, what feels most self-respecting during this new moon. It's Leo energy. This is bright and beautiful and fiery, and it's going to spark a new beginning for us. This is a time to set intentions. This is a time to get excited about what's possible for you in the Leo area of your chart, which I'll discuss in the 12 sign readings. But opposite Pluto, it's showing us we've come too far. We can't go back to where we used to be, and there are some things that we can't take with us into this new territory that we're all moving into in 2025. Remember, a new moon in Leo wants us to shine our light bright. We have the sun and the moon together in this fire sign, which represents our inner child delight. Consult your inner child. Ask that part of you that maybe hasn't been given a voice in a long time what he or she most needs, what would light them up, and give that to yourself, my friend. If not during a new moon in Leo, then when? If not now, when? Who will most feel this new moon in Leo? It's happening at 2 degrees. So those of you with planets or points between 0 and 6 degrees of the fixed signs, Leo, Aquarius, Scorpio, or Taurus, or those of you with planets or points between 28 and 29 degrees of the cardinal signs, Aries, Libra, Cancer, or Capricorn, you will feel this new moon in Leo most personally and intensely. All of us are going to feel this new moon where we have 2 degrees of Leo in our chart, and this is what I'll talk about in the 12 sign readings. Now, on July 25th, the sun in Leo is going to make an exact opposition to Pluto retrograde in Aquarius. In short, keywords for this transit are power struggles, boundary issues, unconscious fears coming up, past conflicts being reignited. Collectively, we could see this in violence, I'm sorry to say, conflicts on the world stage. My advice to you is to ask the question, what would self-love do here? Is there anything in my life that is toxic to me? Am I letting something go on, whether it's a relationship or a job situation or a financial issue or something in my health? Is there something that I'm letting go on for too long? If so, this is the time to address it. Protect your passions. Accept what you can't control and pray for the wisdom, for the divine to show you what you can control and steps that would be empowering to take. On July 28th, Venus in Gemini will make a beautiful sextile to Chiron, which is an opportunity for healing. Chiron is in Aries. This brings up sensitivities and vulnerabilities, tender spots, often around performance anxiety or just feeling like we're not good enough, imposter syndrome. But this is really harmonious energy with Venus and Chiron. And so this could be a relationship situation or somebody that you admire or trust that is working with you, allowing you to talk it out. This is a good time to connect with other people and a good time to share your feelings, to allow yourself to be vulnerable so that you can let that healing happen. And on July 30th, just 2 days later, Chiron and Aries will station retrograde, during which time you might find yourself really reflecting on your identity, on a role that you play. Do you want to change a role? Do you want to do something new that you haven't done before? I mean, all of us are being called to do something new that we haven't done before in some way, shape, or form, wherever we have Saturn and Neptune in Aries in our chart. But Chiron stationing retrograde for some of us may be connected to a healing role that we might want to play for others, or a core wound. We all have one. We all came in with one: abandonment, betrayal, or shame, a core wound that we are healing ourselves, often connected to childhood and past lifetimes. On the same day, Venus will leave Gemini and enter Cancer. Remember that the first 3 weeks of this month of July, the sun is in Cancer before it moves into Leo. Jupiter is in Cancer and will be in Cancer for a full year. It moved into Cancer on June 9th. So now Venus is going to join Jupiter in this very emotional, water, highly sensitive sign that often has us thinking about our home environment and beautifying and the people that we love and making good food. Basically feeling emotionally secure. And finally, on July 31st, the sun will make a conjunction to Mercury retrograde, also known as a Mercury cazimi. This is happening at 9 degrees of Leo. And I love a Mercury retrograde conjunct the sun. Why? Because it can really bring us an epiphany, an illumination, a divine download. I mean, if we look back to all of the transits that I just went through this month, what is a big picture message that we're getting? We are very likely to receive some sort of realization during this month. We also speak of Mercury retrograde Cassimis as inner death and rebirth moments, mental resets, a time to receive clarity. And a really good way to work with this energy is through automatic writing, writing to spirit, as I call it in my book, journaling, meditating, taking walks in nature, however you receive your intuitive guidance most clearly. Now, having gone through all the transits, I really want to encourage everyone to stay grounded this month, especially with Uranus now in Gemini and with the fiery energy that we're going to have once we get into Leo season. The air of Uranus, the air of Venus in Gemini, it can feel quite combust with the Leo energy, and we can have a lot of heat, a lot of hot weather during Leo season. And so if you can get your feet on the earth, if you can put your feet in water, if you can do anything that grounds your energy, that should very much help during this time. We are meant to slow down with Mercury retrograde. We are meant to let ourselves step back and contemplate the dream of our heart with Saturn and Neptune moving into retrograde motion. But we are also meant to let the sparks of these new possibilities that could be filtering into our minds with Uranus and Gemini, to let that in and to not let the mind be the naysayer, to not allow our minds to automatically nix any new possibility, because that's what the mind will do. The mind doesn't want change. So to let all of it be there and feed your desire. Fuel the excitement. This will not be the usual Leo season. And that's a good thing, because we are meant to receive the inspired divine downloads for this brand new territory on this new earth that we are all co-creating together. Okay, my beautiful friend, let us do your monthly horoscopes now. The month of July. Listen to your rising sign. This is going to let you know where in your natal astrology chart you're going to be experiencing the transits that I talk about. You can also listen to your sun sign and your moon sign for further themes and intuitive messages that will very possibly be accurate. And we're going to start with beautiful Leo, because Leo, this is your birthday season. Happy, happy birthday to you. Beautiful Leo, let your light shine. This is not going to be your usual Leo season. Why do I say this? Because, first of all, we are going to start this month with Venus conjunct Uranus in Taurus in your 10th house of career. What does this mean? It means expect the unexpected in career. If Venus coming close to Uranus at the very end degrees, if you have any planets or points in your sign, you may have some surprises. They can be wonderful surprises. It is Venus after all. Venus is quite lovely. but it does square your energy. So it could be, for example, that you unexpectedly are offered a raise. Of course, you deserve a raise. You are unexpectedly offered something, or somebody comes to you and says, will you partner with me in business? Or you get an unexpected windfall of money that then allows you to do something career related that you wouldn't have done otherwise. It could be something like that. It can be an up and down thing. It can be a bit roller coaster-ish. So know that that is how we are going to be starting the month of July. Not only this, but Uranus in Gemini is going to begin on July 7th, enter the sign of Gemini on July 7th. And this is going to happen in your 11th house of hopes, wishes, and dreams, the house of fulfillment, the house of long-term financial gains. The 11th house is the house of allies, supporters, social media platforms, branding and promotion if you are doing any sort of branding or putting your work out into the world. The 11th house is the world card in the tarot. It's where we want to spread our wings. The world is your oyster here. So with Uranus here, and remember Uranus will be here for a full 7 years. It's actually over an 8-year period, but with retrogrades, it comes down to 7 years of your life. This is change happening. It can be disruptive. It can be amazing, discombobulating, ups and downs and all arounds, changes in friendships, changes in the work that you do. So many different kinds of things can happen for you during this time, but it is not a stable time in these areas of your life. It wants you to get closer to what your heart really wants. That's ultimately what Uranus is doing. It wants to free and liberate us. So how is this affecting your not usual Leo season? Well, Uranus in Gemini is going to spark your fire energy, Leo. And not only that, Venus is going to move into Gemini as well, also in your 11th house. So Venus and Uranus both being here together is very possibly creating some sort of softer feeling landing of Uranus into Gemini, because Venus is the planet of love, beauty, pleasure, comforts. So they will make a conjunction. They're not going to be exactly conjunct, but they'll be close enough together that you may feel this in both your 10th house at the very beginning of the month, and in your 11th house as we get July 7th and a little bit onward. We also have a full moon in Capricorn, and that is happening in your 6th house of daily work habits and health. And that full moon is asking you to balance your home and family life, personal commitments with external work kinds of career commitments, or if you don't have a career, how you spend your time. Anything toxic in our lives is meant to go, but it's a beautiful full moon. It's very, very supportive, and you may find yourself completing something in your work, or you might find yourself feeling like, okay, I really accomplished what I wanted to accomplish in my health or in my exercise routine or in how I eat. And some people will be getting a new pet during this time, because full moons are not just endings and completions. Sometimes they're manifestations. Sometimes they are what feel like a graduation moment or something coming to a lovely climax, which can be, acquiring something. And that could be acquiring a raise. That could be acquiring a new position of responsibility. Mercury is going to shift into retrograde motion in your sign, Leo. So our energy is turned inward. We begin to contemplate things that we have been working on or, thinking about doing. Most people by now know the full download on Mercury retrograde, what to do, what not to do. I touch on this in the first part of this video. But this is a time for us to reflect and review any steps that we want to take going forward. It's happening for you in your first house. It's the first house of you. There's going to be a lot of energy here with Mercury turning retrograde, and then with the sun entering your sign, Leo. And then we have a new moon in your sign too. This is a lot of energy happening in your first house from the 17th on. Once Mercury turns retrograde, then one thing after another, we have the sun entering your sign, and then we have the new moon in your sign as well. So because it's in your first house and the new moon is trining Saturn and Neptune, it's really lovely for contemplating your next chapter or your heart's desire or your new vision, whatever you call it. And during that new moon, you're getting support from Saturn and Neptune in your ninth house of expansion, long distance travel, learning new things, taking a course, planning a new adventure. So this would be a good time to intend during the new moon. New moons are always great times for intending what our heart most wants. But if you want to do anything that will expand you, that I just spoke about, ninth house things, often very spiritual, often about our philosophy or the things that are our passions that are really lighting us up right now. This new moon is very, very supportive of that. Just keep in mind that it is opposing Pluto, which is really encouraging us to set clear boundaries and let go of, say no to anything that is toxic. Pluto's in your seventh house of partnerships, so it could have to do with a partnership pattern, dynamic, or person, business or personal, romantic, that is present in your life right now. So beautiful, Leo. Let me now pull a card for you. I really think that with Uranus in Gemini and Venus in Gemini, and both of those transits happening in your 11th house of fulfillment, I really do think this is going to be a lovely, lovely month for you, birthday season for you. And just asking you, what does your heart want? The world is your oyster, Leo. It's time to go for it. Not to mention that new moon supporting any ninth house expansion that is lighting you up right now. Okay, so let's pull a card for you now, Leo. Leo. Crossing bridges. You're on a bridge. You are moving from one place in your life to another. It is time for connecting, healing, mending, and releasing. This is so beautiful. This card is acknowledging that you are on a soul's journey, that you are not in the same place that you were before. That's Pluto. This new moon in your sign that is opposing Pluto is saying, all the old energy that where you used to be, anything that used to be in alignment with your vibration that isn't anymore, we can't go back. That's Pluto. We can't go back to the way anything was when we were our old self, right? And so how do we release that? We heal, connect, mend, and release what is no longer in alignment with us anymore. But here you are, crossing the bridge in the moonlight, heading toward your heart's desire. Beautiful, Leo. If you want to claim that you are crossing bridges, that's beautiful movement. Very encouraging. Let us know in the comments below. Cancer. Hello, beautiful Cancer. Cancer. This is going to be a month of change for you. And I mean change as in new realizations. And I'm going to tell you why as I get into it. First of all, the month opens with the sun still in your sign. Happy, happy birthday to those of you who have July birthdays. I hope you have the most beautiful birthday. Not only is the sun here for the first 3 weeks of the month, approximately, before it goes into Leo, but Jupiter is now in your sign, and Jupiter offers protection, also blessings and good fortune. Jupiter is a wonderful planet to have in your sign. It is helping you to receive the good things in life. And even if you're going through something difficult, it tends to bring you the people, the resources, the wisdom that you need to get through whatever it is that you're going through. It always helps to have Jupiter with us, and Cancer people have Jupiter with us. And by the way, I have Cancer moon and rising in my own chart. Now, Uranus is entering Gemini, and it will be in your 12th house for 7 years. And this is a big deal because Uranus is the great awakener. The 12th house is the house of spiritual awakening. The 12th house is the ethereal realms. It is where we get some of our biggest light bulb moments, our life-changing epiphanies. The 12th house is where we can slip into other realms through astral travel, through our dream states, through deep soul journeys, experiences like past life regression or mediumship, or if any of you want to do something that is spiritually based. Having Uranus go through your 12th house, you will not be the same. We will not be the same people when we come out of this. And one of the beautiful things that Uranus and Gemini is going to give us in our 12th house, those of us who are Cancer risings, is more of those realizations that change our view of ourselves and our lives. They can be quite healing. I had one of those very recently, and I believe a lot of us are already feeling Uranus and Gemini. If you have planets or points, especially at 0 to 1 degree, you probably already felt this energy. It can be very freeing emotionally for Cancer people. Now, Saturn and Neptune are turning retrograde, and because you're a cardinal sign, you're feeling this energy more. It's squaring your energy, which means tension and pressure. The retrograde may soften that tension or pressure a little bit. It's happening in your 10th house of career and inviting you to do some reflecting, some rethinking, some revising, fine-tuning of any dream, vision, or goal that you have for your career, for life purpose expressed if you don't have a career, retirement, semi-retirement, legacy, how you spend your time. The full moon in Capricorn is happening for you in your 7th house of partnerships. This is committed relationships. It can be professional, personal, romantic, the ones that are important to us, most important to us. We have their back, they have our back. These are the people that we spend the most time with. They can be clients as well. I love this full moon, Cancer. It is trining Mars in Virgo. And for you, that means that you may find yourself doing some sort of completion or have a manifestation that has to do with freelance work, that has to do with anything going on in your local environment, any of your local networks, communication, or a relationship with a sibling, aunt, uncle, cousin. This is also connected to vehicles and short trips. But we often feel this energy in our neighborhood because that's the 3rd house as well, where Mars is transiting right now for Cancers in Virgo. But this is very supportive energy, the Capricorn energy to the Virgo energy during this full moon. And this would also be good for wrapping something up or beginning, a new door opening for you for anything that is a resource in your local area, like a gym or a yoga studio, or finding the right health practitioner. Anything that will support your health or your physical body or your overall wellness, especially, or your work, especially if you do freelance work. Mercury is going to shift into retrograde motion this month, and it's happening for you in your 2nd house of money. This means that you may really find yourself thinking about your income, self-love, deserving, self-worth. You may be rewriting your inner story that is connected to money. Some of you may want to do some work on your perceptions of money and how, your abundance mindset, wanting to nurture your mindset around money, worthiness, but also any investments, anything to do with your material security. This is going to be important for you this month, Cancer, because this is also where the sun is going to be, and this is where the new moon in Leo is happening, all in your 2nd house of material security. So anything that you can do to support yourself, and if you have investments, or if you want to buy something that is going to make you feel more materially secure, this is a good month to focus on that, to think about that. Mercury's retrograde here, so it's a time that we're often not taking so much action, but maybe we're doing research, maybe we're talking to a financial advisor, maybe we are doing some inner shadow work on our own, inner child stuff, or our own sense of, if we have a poverty mindset, if we grew up in a family where money was fought about, for example, this could be a good month to detoxify any of that. And finally, Cancer, at the end of the month, Venus is going to enter your sign. So that's going to be really sweet to have Venus in your sign and Jupiter in your sign. Very, very sweet. That's happening at the end of the month. That's often where we feel more acknowledged, more appreciated, kissed, kissed by Venus in the 1st house of you, Cancer. That is a really, really lovely thing to be happening at the end of the month. So this month is being bookended for you by the sun in your sign, and at the beginning, the first few weeks, and then Venus entering your sign at the end, and the whole time. And for the next year, you've got Jupiter in your sign. So it's great to have the benefic planets, Jupiter and Venus, in your energy, beautiful Cancer. I'm happy for that too. Okay, so a card just fell out, and fell on the floor. Let's get it here. This is your card, Cancer, the Gates of Triumph. It says, success is expanding in your life. What I love about this card, well, first of all, it's a beautiful card, but what I love about it is, if you notice, There are charred trees here. You've been through it, is what this is saying. But this is where you are. You're going through a portal. This month may feel like a portal to you. You're headed out on a new path. Look at the bright rays of sunshine and the creativity of the orange as well. The green, heart healing. And Leo energy is very heart connected. And so, are you ready to walk through the gates of triumph, Cancer? I'm ready. I'll go walk through the gates of triumph with you. Success is expanding in your life. If you want to claim that success is expanding into your life, through your life, as your life, let us know in the comments below. Gemini. Hello, beautiful Gemini. Gemini, I have my natal sun in Gemini. This is a big month for Gemini people. Why? Because Uranus is entering our sign. That is a woohoo to me. Why is it a woohoo? First of all, I want to acknowledge Uranus can be discombobulating. Uranus can bring disruptions. Uranus can be in our face. Uranus is very electrifying. It can really rev up the nervous system. It can throw us off for sure. We have to very consciously ground Uranus energy. I have 2 videos on Uranus and Gemini that I highly encourage you to watch since you are a Gemini person, and Uranus will be here for the next 8 years until May of 2033, which is a really big deal. But the excitement of it is that it is stimulating. Gemini, do you relate to the fact that you like new and different? That's Gemini energy. Gemini energy is about change, transformation. It helps usher in a new season. Gemini people, whether you're aware of it or not, you help other people to move through change in your own way. Just people being in your energy, the flexibility, the mutability, as we call it, the ability to ride with the tide and go with the flow, to allow the wind to take you in the places that you're meant to go. That's your energy, Gemini. So what I love about this month is not only that Uranus is going to move into your sign, but also Venus is moving into Gemini. And who being a Gemini does not love Venus and Gemini? I mean, I have to say, like, that is a pretty sweet energy for Gemini people. And I hope that it brings you a lot of wonderful simpatico energy with others, because Geminis love to connect with other people or with your own inner self. We're all different. We all have differing degrees, needs for alone time and all of that. I understand that. But both Uranus and Venus are going to be in your first house of you, identity, appearance. Some of you may want to get a glow up. I love that term. I don't usually say glow up, but it's kind of fun to say, I have to say. Change your appearance in some way. Give yourself permission to let your freak flag fly. This is the time. We only have Uranus move through our first house once every 84 years. So it's rare. This is a rare time in your life, and it is just beginning now, beautiful gem. Now, you also have Jupiter in Cancer, which has been here, for a little bit now. It entered in June. It's transiting your second house of money, and the sun is here as well for the first 3 weeks of the month of July. So what does this mean? To have Jupiter going through your second house along with the sun is usually quite an abundant time for you, and really lovely for expanding your sense of worthiness, deserving, self-love. Anything you want to buy, this could be a great time to buy it. As long as you're aware, I don't want to sound too Saturnian here, but as long as you're aware of, you're happy with the amount of money you're spending, it feels in alignment with you, all of that stuff. Okay, Gem. Saturn and Neptune, the dream for you that Saturn and Neptune are encouraging you to co-create with the divine, that's happening in your 11th house. A fulfillment, hopes, wishes, and dreams, long-term gains, supporters, allies, social media platforms, the world is your oyster. That's the 11th house. You putting something out into the world through promotion or branding. And so this is significant to mention because Saturn and Neptune are going retrograde. So any forward momentum that you've been having on what you want next, what your heart most desires, you could feel that slowing down. We're meant to slow down during this time. We have a full moon in Capricorn this month. That's happening in your 8th house. The 8th house is the house of transformation, our emotional attachments, death and rebirth. It's a very deep dive for some of us, an 8th house transit and an 8th house full moon specifically. It's a beautiful full moon. It is connected to shared resources, time, money, energy, emotional and sexual intimacy. So a full moon here could be some sort of culmination in finances for you, investments, paying off loans, those kinds of things. This full moon makes a trine to Mars in Virgo, which is your 4th house, is it transiting your 4th house of home and family. So there's an element of support here for anything to do with home and family, and it could be beautifying your home in some way, Gemini. Mercury's turning retrograde in Leo in your 3rd house. The 3rd house is the house of moving and shaking. It is the house that rules mercurial things already. Things like transportation, travel, short trips, vehicles, devices, everything electrical. It's also websites. So with Mercury turning retrograde here, Gemini, already because you're ruled by Mercury, you're very sensitive to Mercury retrogrades, but also with a Mercury retrograde in your 3rd house, I would really encourage you to back up your devices. If you've been having any sort of mechanical issues with anything, this is the time to get that repaired, especially, you know, like car maintenance, all of that stuff. And it can be a time that you have communication with an aunt, uncle, cousin, or sibling, or neighbor, landlord, mortgage broker, and that we want to be very, very intentional around our communication. Also, sometimes with a Mercury retrograde in the 3rd house, we could be thinking about signing a lease or thinking about, you know, some sort of agreement. Mercury retrogrades in the 3rd house are actually really good times to sell things, but not often the best time to buy something or to sign a lease or those kinds of things, because often when we do that, there's something that we can't see. It's hidden. We think, oh, I've toured the place. I've seen it all. Like nothing could go wrong. And then you find out, this happened to me once, you find out that the water heater, you know, is really, really old and it has to be replaced. And that creates an issue for your landlord. Things like that, that usually there are things that we don't often check, like the date when your water heater was purchased. And those are kind of the hidden things that can come up during a Mercury retrograde. And 3rd house is our neighborhood. So that's why it often brings in leases. Do what you have to do. Listen to your intuition. You are the expert on your own life. We're also having a Leo new moon in the same place, the 3rd house. And both the Mercury retrograde and the Leo new moon sextile your energy. So that's really good. It's quite supportive. If you do run into any glitch or anything difficult, the sextile really helps because it's harmonizing the energy and it brings about solutions and workarounds, and problem solving is easier with the sextile. Leo energy is so lovely with your energy, Gemini. I think you're really going to love Leo season, especially because Uranus and Gemini is sparking that Leo energy. Leo energy is sparking that Uranus and Gemini. They are sparking each other, and this could be so lovely. This would be a great time to take a short trip. It'd be just make sure you have gas in your car. I know, Mercury retrograde, it does affect these kinds of things. You know, make sure that your phone is charged or you have it on a charger or whatever for your GPS. I mean, these are really mundane things, but there are things that we don't see during a Mercury retrograde, or we're just more likely to be late for appointments, things like that. But overall, Gemini, I think you're really going to love this month, and just ground your energy if you feel electrified by Uranus. Okay, let me pull a card for you now. And in the first part of this video, I give all the planets and points and the exact dates for all these transits for the collective. Gemini, let's see what the cards have for you. Gems. Choosing your path, all is possible. What I love about this card for you, Gemini, is that decisions can sometimes be challenging. Do you find that? Leave me a comment if that's true for you. Why? Because Gemini can see things from all sides. Gemini is able to observe all possibilities, and sometimes it feels like too much. Sometimes there's too much static from the environment, from external forces. Geminis are also highly, highly sensitive. sometimes there's too much input, energetic input. So if that's true for you, you might want some time out. You may want to go someplace where it's just you and nature. It's time to choose a path. But you have this whole Mercury retrograde. You have as much time as you want, but Mercury retrograde is especially wonderful for allowing us to slow down, take time out, not feel pressured to take any specific actions, except to get clear. And by the way, Mercury is going to, Mercury retrograde will make a conjunction to the sun, a Mercury cazimi, at the end of the month, which will also be wonderful for getting clarity. So beautiful Gemini, if you're ready to choose your path, if you're ready to claim that everything is possible for you, all is possible, let us know in the comments below. Taurus. Hello, beautiful Taurus. Taurus, this month of July is game changing. How will it be game changing for you? Well, the month begins for you with a really interesting transit of Venus conjunct Uranus in your sign, both Venus and Uranus being in Taurus at the end degrees. I mean, technically it's 29 degrees, but we're already beginning to feel this, I believe, with Venus in the low 20s of degrees right now, as the stock market is climbing and climbing right now. We'll see what happens. You know, Venus conjunct Uranus can be ups and downs. It can be volatility financially. It can be a lot of things. It's surprises. This is not the best time to do surprise proposals like marriage proposals. Although if both you and your partner love, you know, that expect the unexpected energy, great. But often things turn out differently than we planned in love, money, beauty, pleasure. So Taurus, that is a bit of a roller coaster, topsy-turvy transit that is opening up the month for you. Then we have Uranus moving into Gemini in your second house of money. So what does this mean? Uranus in Gemini wants to free and liberate you when it comes to any ideas or situations in your life that feel stagnant or feel too claustrophobic in any way, too tight for you. It's a breaking free energy. Anything can happen. I'm not going to go on too long about these different transits in these readings. I have separate videos for you on Uranus in going into Gemini where I do a deeper dive. But this is a time to know that your income could begin to fluctuate, or that you could open up to new ideas for making more money, or, you know, your values might be changing. You may decide that you want to do something different in the second house, or that, you know, like I'm just getting this image right now, and I trust things that come in that this would be good for someone to hear. Things that come in intuitively. I just got this image of someone packing a van and like touring, you know, like letting go of their home perhaps, and, you know, changing your lifestyle and freeing, like lightening. What I'm trying to say is lowering your overhead. That could be the case for some of you. In some ways, you may be changing something up so that you can have more freedom and have lower expenses. Let me know if that's true for you, Taurus. I love hearing from you guys in the comments. Saturn and Neptune are turning retrograde in your 12th house. The 12th house is our spiritual awakening, the mystic within all of us. It can be a vocation for you that is spiritually focused. It's the dreams that we have at night. It is our wanderings in the ethereal realms. So where we get epiphanies and realizations about who we are, but we get them in metaphorical ways, often through deep diving kinds of practices like meditation. It's also the house of foreign lands. So with these planets going retrograde in your 12th house, this means that you are perhaps rethinking or reflecting or refining whatever is your dream that is tied to spiritual expansion. Some of you too could have a dream to work in prisons or work in a hospital or do something for people who are less advantaged. We're going to have a full moon in Capricorn, Taurus, which is going to trine your energy. It's lovely flow. I'll do a separate video for you on this, but this is going to happen in your 9th house of expansion. So these are two transits right off the bat that I can see that are in spiritual houses for you. So your soul really wants to expand this month. And it's a beautiful full moon. It's really supporting any culmination, ending, completion, graduation moment for you that is tied to your spirituality, that is tied to truth for you, whatever that is, long distance travel. It's going to help ignite your creativity, love and romance, children. Those themes are involved because Mars in Virgo in your 5th house is making a trine to this full moon. So this full moon may really light you up, beautiful Taurus. And then we have several transits happening in the sign of Leo, which is your 4th house. Leo energy is, full of fire and spark. It really likes to remind you of the inner child within you, beautiful Taurus, to get out and have fun and do some things spontaneously because you're a builder, you're a hard worker, you focus on manifesting, you focus on, maintaining resources. You are really a good creator of the material. And I know that's not everything about you. There's a lot more about you, but that's specifically speaks to your Taurus nature. You like to create a good life in terms of quality surroundings. Everything that you create and that you have around you, you want it to be of solid, fine quality, and that's beautiful. Leo energy brings your focus to your 4th house of home and family, and it squares your energy, so it brings in tension and pressure, which has you getting into action. Where might you get into action? If you want to change your home in some way, if you want to move, if you feel like you want to do some healing on your ancestral line or on your own inner child or past life stuff, maybe do some past life regression or some sort of what we call shadow work or inner child healing. Because we have Mercury retrograde here in your 4th house, not a good time to sign a lease or get a mortgage during the Mercury retrograde. Some people will say that if you've been working on it for a long time and you're just signing on the dotted line, then that's okay. I've had experiences both directions of that being possible, that working out well and then it not working out well for some people. So it's different for all of us, but always use your intuition as your greatest guide. And then the new moon in the 4th house is really supporting you to set clear boundaries in career. Especially you may find yourself really doing a balancing act between career or life purpose express, how you spend your time if you're retired, and boundaries. Pluto's involved. That's a big detoxifying kind of energy, telling us to let go of what's no longer in alignment with us and to say yes to our passion. It's a beautiful new moon in Leo, but Pluto is involved. So it is preparing us to move into this next new era that we're really in right now. But it's saying we can't take with us anything that we've outgrown or anything that is not in alignment with our energy anymore. And that's people, places, situations, all of it. So Taurus, it's going to be a really interesting month. And as you can see, themes of home and family, of expansion and spiritual enlightenment even for you are all possible, and fluctuations or windfalls even with financial things could happen for you as well. So Taurus, let's pull a card for you now and see what the cards have to say for you, beautiful Taurus. Taurus, your card is believe in magic. Do you believe in magic? Taurus, you're being invited into the magical realms. How perfect is this? With what's happening in your 12th house, Saturn and Neptune going retrograde. So here you go. Journey by moonlight. Do you work with the elementals, the nymphs, the fairies? This is saying, nature is your guide. You are an earth sign, so you're probably quite connected to nature, but you may want to begin talking to the unseen realms even more. Believe in magic. Ask for the signs, ask for the synchronicities, ask to be shown the magical moments in life even more, and they will grow. If you want to claim your magic, let us know in the comments below, beautiful Taurus. Aries, hello, beautiful Aries. Aries, for you, this is also going to be a very stimulating month because Uranus entering Gemini, and Uranus is a big deal transit that I discussed in the beginning of this video, the first half. This is going to spark your energy, the air of Gemini to your fire. We begin this month with Cancer season, the first 3 weeks, and Jupiter in Cancer, and they are both in your fourth house of home and family, really taking your focus to an expansion there. Good things happening, blessings. Jupiter's protecting you there, if nothing else. So that's really beautiful. You may want to move. You may want to redecorate. You may want to beautify in some way. Jupiter in Cancer there, or something is expanding in your home or family life. A new person moving in, perhaps. I mean, it should all be feeling really good with Jupiter there. There is a new dream in the oven for you in your first house. Your first house is the place that Saturn and Neptune have been traveling through, and now they're retrograding. So you will very likely be reflecting, rethinking, refining your new dream that is baking right now. So let it bake, let it bake, let yourself research, let yourself look around and think about the possibilities. And if you don't fully believe that you can have what you want, do that inner work, the inner child work, the shadow work, the, feeling through your fears, breathing through them, purging through them, tapping through them, whatever you do to move that energy so that you are more of an open, believing receptacle for your dream. Uranus entering Gemini is happening in your third house. This is the house of moving and shaking. This is where we do all of our transactions, our buying and our selling and our driving and our short trips, devices, electronics, all electronics, vehicles, websites, freelance work, communication, networking with people in our local environment, our neighbors, aunts, uncles, and cousins. There's a lot of things that go on in the third house, but big picture, it's the mind. It's how we think about what we want. Do we think about it in positive ways? Do we think about it in ways that make us feel like we believe in ourselves and we can have what we want? Uranus and Gemini, wow, what an electrical energy for you, Aries. Already the third house is ruled by Mercury, and now Uranus comes through. Expect divine downloads. Expect to get some real insights on whatever it is that you want. You get a sextile from this energy. It's what I talked about at the beginning of your horoscope, which is the air of Gemini sparking your fire. And not only this month of July, Venus will be here too. Venus in your third house is saying, go take that short trip, go have a coffee date, go to that class or whatever it is in your local environment that sparks your aliveness. Do it, because Venus here could make you very popular too with your friends during this transit. Gemini is quite the social sign. And Venus going through your house of local networks means you may have more social time, which would be quite lovely. Always your choice, of course, Aries. We have a full moon in Capricorn, your 10th house of career, life purpose expressed. The 10th house is legacy and how we spend our time, retirement, semi-retirement. It's basically the most public place in our chart and where we have the most focus, or where we're looking for focus if we're not sure of how we want to spend our time, if we're going through a dark night or a lull or a place of feeling lost, then we're searching. But with a full moon here, something is ending, wrapping up, completing. That could be a career, that could be a job, that could be your whole working life if you're retiring. And a new door is opening, because a new door always opens when something ends, right? And you're getting a lot of support during this full moon. It's a beautiful full moon. It's all the aspects are positive, but you're getting especially supported for your health, your daily work, and your lifestyle as well. Mercury is retrograding in Leo in your 5th house. That's also where the sun is entering Leo, where we're going to have a new moon in Leo, all in your 5th house of inner child delight, love, romance, creativity, children. Anything that you want to create, that you want to put out into the world, anything that's coming from your heart. This is a beautiful, beautiful time for you, Aries, because Leo energy trines your energy, and we are getting a lot of activity. Not only this, we're also going to have a Mercury Cazimi in Leo at the end of the month. So you're just getting a lot of support in this 5th house area. Now, Mercury is retrograde. Often when we meet someone or start something in the 5th house, it doesn't, there are things that we don't see until they come to light later on after the retrograde. So just go slow. if you fall in love instantly, love at first sight, you might want to go slow. But Aries, you often like the fast burn. Not all of you. I know some of you do. Now on July 31st, the very end of the month, I think it's the 30th, Venus will enter Cancer. And this is your fourth house of home and family. I talked about this at the beginning with the Sun and Jupiter here. But Venus joining Jupiter in your fourth house is really lovely for any goodness that you want to feel in your home or family arena. Really, really nice. So a great time to have someone come stay with you, to go visit a loved one, to have a loved one come see you. Great time to spend time with people that you really care about, or to do any improvements to your home or your family life. So this all said, beautiful Aries, it all sounds pretty darn good, doesn't it? I really love for you. I think my favorite energy for you is the new moon in Leo in your fifth house. Know that it does make an opposition to Pluto in Aquarius, but then Pluto in Aquarius is air energy, and that's sextiling your energy too. So, right now you are well supported. So let's see what the cards have to say for you. Aries, this is all feeling really good to me for you. Lots of harmonious energy from the other planets that are touching your planets. Your card is... Wow, Aries, I would not have expected to get this card. Solitude. In silence, peace prevails. Maybe you're really going to enjoy the Saturn and Neptune going retrograde in your sign. If you've been feeling it, if you have planets or points in the very early degrees of your sign, you may have felt like overstimulated, too much pressure, tension, all of that. You may be really ready for a break. That's the thing about a Mercury retrograde, Saturn and Neptune in your sign retrograding. It's a good time to slow down, take a break, take a vacation even, just to receive the nurturing that you need if you want to claim your self-nurturing, your solitude, your time to yourself. Beautiful Aries, let us know in the comments below. Pisces. Hello, beautiful Pisces. Pisces. This month, the lunar nodes, the north node being in your sign, the south node being in your opposite sign of Virgo, the lunar nodes are going to be activated more than once. And this brings fated and destined moments for some of you, depending on the degrees of your planets or points in Pisces energy. The month begins with a very supportive trine from the Sun in Cancer, which will be there for the first 3 weeks of the month, and Jupiter in Cancer, which will be here for a whole year. And this is happening in your fifth house. So how lovely is this? The fifth house is fun, creative projects, your artistic self, and most of you are very artistic. Pisces, this is also love and romance, children. It's the house of lightness, the house of joy. I love that you are getting so much beautiful trine energy from these Cancer energies. And at the very end of the month, Venus is going to go into Cancer, which is also going to be, of course, in your fifth house and is also going to trine your energy. So this is so lovely for you. On top of this, Uranus is entering Gemini in your fourth house of home, family, inner child healing. There will be change here for you. It can be amazing, beautiful change. It's not necessarily going to be easy. Why? Because it squares your energy, and squares are often choice points. They're turning points. They're crossroads. They are decisions that we have to make that are not always easy to make. When you feel this Uranus energy, it will depend on the planets or points in your sun, in your Pisces energy when you're activated. And it's right now, it's the early degrees, like 0 to 2 degrees for you. But also this month with Uranus and Gemini, Venus will first move into Gemini before Uranus a few days earlier. And that, I think, is going to give us a soft landing for you, for Uranus moving into Gemini. Venus will already be there. They'll be close enough together that they'll be talking to each other. And I think this will bring some softer energy for all of us. But, big picture, this is really taking your focus to home and family and asking you, is there anything that needs to be changed here? Is there anything that's been dormant within you, your own inner child, anything that you want to heal from your childhood or past lives? And is there any change you want to make to your home? A lot of people with Uranus moving through their fourth house end up moving. They want to move, they want to make a change. Uranus will give us the metaphorical boot or the literal boot if we are staying someplace for too long and we know that we've outgrown it, or we do feel stagnant, or we do, if we're harboring old energy that we're meant to release, Uranus will say, nope, time for you to get up and go. It picks us up and puts us down in the place we're meant to be, just like eclipses can do. Now, Pisces, we have a full moon in Capricorn that is quite beautiful. It sextiles your energy. It's very supportive. Sextiles can bring in new opportunities and solutions and workarounds. Very supportive, harmonious to you in your 11th house of fulfillment, hopes, wishes, and dreams, long-term financial gains. The 11th house is friendships and allies. The 11th house is like, what is your dream now? What does, if you could spread your wings, if you could fly free, what would you do? What would you choose? Friends fall here if I didn't say that. Also, just community support groups and meetups and social media platforms. If you have a message you want to share with the world, if there's anything that you want to broadcast, put out, ways that you want to connect with online groups. Maybe it is collecting for you, collecting friends in some way, collecting something. It could be that too. It really is, what is your dream? What would make you feel most fulfilled during this time? This is where the full moon is happening for you. And it's being supported by Mars and Virgo. The full moon is being trined by Mars and Virgo. Mars and Virgo is in your 7th house of partnerships. What does this mean? It means that your partnerships are playing into this full moon in some way, shape, or form, but they're supporting each other. So partnerships could be up for you during this full moon, either in business or in your personal life. The sun in Cancer is going to trine the North Node in Pisces in your sign. July 11th, bringing about a fated or destined moment for some of you. This is really, really beautiful because the sun in Cancer is in your 5th house. If you desire to meet someone or to put something out creatively, or to just to do something creative, maybe just to paint or sing or whatever you love to do, dance, Pisces, what a beautiful day to do this. You could feel it the day before, the day after. It's happening exactly on July 11th. And then we have a bunch of Leo energy happening beginning the last third of the month. Mercury turns retrograde in Leo on the 17th. And this is happening in your 6th house of your daily work, your lifestyle, your health, habits, exercise, your eating routines, what you eat. This is also where we're going to have the new moon in Leo, and where we're going to have a Mercury in Leo Sun conjunction, Mercury Cazimi. This is all happening in your 6th house of wellness, optimal health, optimal daily life. What is the lifestyle that you want? So here you're being asked to, or supported to, look at any of this, set intentions for this. For some of you, it will be your daily work. For some of you, maybe you have a work situation that isn't good for you. For others of you, it does have to do with a new lifestyle. And for some of you, it may be more related to health on any level, physical, emotional, mental, or spiritual. And then, as I said, the month ends with Venus moving into Cancer in your 5th house, which I love. I mean, I have to say, Pisces, my favorite thing for you is that you have all this lovely Cancer energy, which trines you in your 5th house, including Jupiter. Jupiter in the 5th house can be so wonderful for doing anything artistically, anything creatively, with children. If you want to get pregnant, a great time to get pregnant. If you want to expand your family. Ooh, and a card flipped when I was shuffling for you. What's the card? It's saying to let yourself travel more lightly, to simplify your life. Some of you are going on a journey. The 5th house is also adventures. And not only that, but the full moon in Capricorn is happening in your 11th house. With a full moon in the 11th house, something could be coming to completion, like a friendship or a group that you've been a part of, or a community you've been a part of, or something that you've done could be culminating, and you could be ready to take off and do something new and different, a new horizon. Because the 5th house is where we want something new and different. We want freedom. We want more joy. We want more fun, more comfort, all of that in the 5th house, love and romance. Simplify your life and it will be easier for you. Travel lightly. If anything that I shared, either through the card or the horoscope that I just read for you, resonates for you, Pisces, leave me a comment. I'd love to hear it. Let us know in the comments below. Aquarius, 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 beautiful Aquarius. The month of July for you is going to be electrified, as it is going to be for many of the signs, but you are going to feel this. Why do I say it? First of all, and that electrification can be a lot of different things, which I'm going to talk about for you. Overall, I hope it's stimulating for you. I hope that it's exciting, because it could very well be. But expect the unexpected, as we say. I know that is so overused, that term. But it's true. We cannot ever predict Uranus energy, and you're getting it through a couple of different transits. The first one is Venus making a conjunction to Uranus and Taurus. Venus and Uranus coming together are in Taurus energy, which is a fixed sign, and you are a fixed sign as well. So this conjunction is happening in your fourth house of home and family. That means expect something that you weren't planning on in home and family. But with Venus here with Uranus, it can be something wonderful. It could be an unexpected child coming into your life. It could be an unexpected family member doing something that you weren't expecting. It could be you, having some new development. It could be you getting an epiphany or aha moment about your childhood, about a past life, something that is quite healing for you. You could get some money that you weren't expecting, and you're able to remodel your home or move or build a new house or do something that's going to increase your sense of well-being in your home and family life. I love all of those things. If it's discombobulating, you will work through it. Aquarius, you're no stranger to Uranus energy, because Uranus has been challenging you through this square ever since it went into Taurus. Now, Uranus is going to leave Taurus and move into Gemini on July 7th. When it does, it's going to be in your fifth house. We're talking the whole sign house system here. In the whole sign house system, it will move into your fifth house, and that is a trine for you. That trines your energy, Aquarius, the heir of Uranus and Gemini to your heir. This is quite lovely in a house that is loveliness itself. Why do I say this? It's joy. It's the house of your inner child, delight. It is the house of romance and creative projects, unbridled, free, creative expression, Aquarius. It's the house of all the things that we love, where we create beauty, where we bring laughter and, the sweet things in life. That's the fifth house. It is, if I had to choose one house, I would absolutely choose the fifth house over any other house if I could only choose. Of course, we need balance and all of that through all the houses, but boy, do I love the fifth house. Now, this means that the change, the excitement, the stimulation, the electrification is happening in all of these fifth house areas for you. If you're dating someone, it could go either way. There will be change. It could get more lovely or it could end. That could happen with Uranus. So Uranus is, again, expect the unexpected. You may get wonderful epiphanies and ideas that you weren't receiving before, and now they're, that was in home and family before, and now it's moving into these areas that I just mentioned: creativity, children, and love and romance. So your inspiration may start to look different, especially because now it's a trine. Before it was a square. That was discomfort, that was tension, that was pressure, that was, I've got to do this thing because I'm feeling the pressure to do it. Now it's very different. Now it's this trine energy, and that is harmonious with your energy, which is quite lovely. Aquarius, we're having a full moon in Capricorn, and for you, that's going to happen in your 12th house of the mystic, the 12th house of the astral planes, rest and retreat, the dreams that we have at night. It's supported and supporting the 8th house for you, 8th house themes of shared resources, intimacy, love, romance, assets, loans, retirement funds. It's the house of emotional attachments. Because the 12th and the 8th house are both very transformational houses, this month with this full moon, you could get a real transformational realization. The 12th house, it brings us into another realm. You could definitely feel that there's something closing out, completing something that, some soul evolution, some soul growth that you've been doing. You could definitely feel like that is coming full circle, or showing up for you in a sense of, I've done that. I've transformed in some way. And it could have to do with something financial for you because it is the 8th house, including for some of you, a sale of a home, um, shifting of anything financial for you, redoing investments, possibly paying off some sort of a debt. I think this full moon will feel good for you. It can also be a manifestation. It can also be a spiritual awakening because it's happening in your 12th house. Then we have a bunch of Leo transits. So as we enter Leo season, before Leo season begins even, we have a Mercury retrograde in Leo in your 7th house of partnerships. This is your opposing sign. This is where there's a lot going on in committed relationships, whether they're personal, business, spouses, significant others. Mercury retrograde is encouraging us to be especially mindful, slow down, really be aware of our communication, especially because Pluto's in your sign, Aquarius. You've already experienced this. You've already experienced transits that are in Leo opposing your energy. We had Mars in Leo opposing your energy. You've experienced this quite a bit. So you probably learned, if you needed to learn, a lot more about being mindful and are setting better boundaries if you needed to do that. Different for all of you, of course. We're going to have a new moon in Leo, and this is in your 7th house, asking you, supporting you just to plant seeds of intention for what you want in your relationships. Maybe it's a new relationship dynamic or something to do with enhancing your relationship life. It could be new clients that you want. It could be a business partnership that you're beginning, a new relationship that you're beginning, calling in a partner possibly, or maybe you are wanting to harmoniously end a partnership. It does oppose Pluto in your sign. So because it opposes Pluto, like I said, you're used to this energy by now, but it is about empowering ourselves, setting boundaries, accepting what we can't change, and pulling up the courage to change what we can. Then we have a Mercury Cazimi, also in Leo, divine downloads, epiphanies, a death and rebirth moment for some of you. Really beautiful. It's meant to refresh us. It's meant to open us up to new realizations. All in all, beautiful Aquarius. The themes for you this month are home and family, partnerships, children, romance, creativity, higher awareness, spiritual awakening. All of that feels very expansive to me. I do think that Uranus and Venus both entering Gemini, you're going to love that trine energy. So let me know what you're thinking about this month if you'd like to share in the comments, and let's pull a card for you now. Aquarius. This is 5th house energy, this card. Joy and delight, open your heart to joy. I love this so much, Aquarius. I love this so much. 5th house, yes. Venus in your 5th house, Uranus in your 5th house. Yes, yes, yes. Let yourself, let your inner child dance, sing, be in the moments and joy of life. Joy and delight. If you want to claim your joy and delight in the comments below, and some of you may want to reconnect with that inner child. You may want to do something that you know is something that your inner child would tap you on the shoulder and say, can we please do this, if you were connected more fully with that part of yourself. If you want to claim your joy and delight in the comments below, beautiful Aquarius, let us know. You will inspire all of us. I'd love to hear. Capricorn. Hello, beautiful Capricorn. Capricorn, I hope you love the month of July. Let me tell you that the month begins with the sun still in Cancer for the first 3 weeks in your 7th house of partnerships. Jupiter is in your 7th house of partnerships. I absolutely love this for you. Yes, it is here for a whole year. Venus will join Jupiter in Cancer at the very end of July, which will just enhance the lusciousness that is happening in your seventh house right now. If you are not partnered and you want to call in a partner, this is a gorgeous time to do so. If you are partnered and you want to enjoy more sweetness with your partner, also fabulous for that. If you want to attract a business partner or anyone else in your life that you want to spend more time with, really, really supportive of that. Venus is going to make a conjunction to Uranus in the fifth house, so expect the unexpected in romance, in love. You know, fifth house Venus energy is more casual relationships. It's not the committed relationships that are in your seventh house that we just spoke about, but it can also be relationships with children and relationships with people that you do fun things with, friends and so on. This is not the best time with Venus and Uranus conjunct to propose to someone or to do something that's romantic, but that you want to go a certain way. It will very likely not go that way. But if that doesn't bother you, go for it. Also, not the best time when Venus is conjunct Uranus to do any sort of beauty treatment or, you know, anything permanent, any sort of plastic surgery or anything like that. But it can be really fun for delightful, unexpected moments in love, creativity, beauty, or pleasure. Now, Uranus is entering Gemini in your sixth house. This is based on the whole sign house system, in your sixth house of daily work, health, habits, and lifestyle. Uranus going through the sixth house shows us if there's a health thing that we need to pay attention to. It shows us if there's something in our daily work that isn't positive for us. It breaks us out of stagnation. It breaks us free from anything toxic. It will help you to create a new habit or release a habit. It will help you to change your lifestyle if that's what you want to do. It's all about change, and it usually comes in unexpected ways unless we initiate. If we initiate looking for a new job, if we initiate starting our own business, if we on our own decide to change a habit or, you know, start working out here, do a different exercise routine, start eating differently, all of that is very supported here. We also have Venus in Gemini this month, also going through your sixth house, and that's going to create a softer landing for Uranus coming into your sixth house. The full moon in your sign, Capricorn. It's a beautiful full moon. I'm so happy to tell you that there's going to be a gorgeous full moon in your sign this month. It's happening in the first house of you. It trines Mars and Virgo, which is transiting in your ninth house of expansion, higher learning, philosophies, letting go of anything that feels oppressive or suffocating to you, changing any belief systems, long distance travel, learning new languages. This is a really beautiful full moon for anything ending, completing a graduation moment, especially with it trining Mars and Virgo. You could be graduating from something or completing a learning program, or someone close to you could be doing that. And it's just a gorgeous full moon because it's in your first house. It's about your roles and identity and what you want to express right now, what you are stepping into, a new chapter of your life, perhaps, or a new you, a new title, a new role. When one door closes, another door opens, and so you could be experiencing that as well around this full moon time. Saturn and Neptune are retrograding in your fourth house of home and family. If you have a dream that has to do with home, family, or career, or life purpose expressed, now is the time to reflect on that, to refine it, to rethink it for some of you. And it's also a good time with these retrogrades in your fourth house to do any kind of shadow work, inner child healing, you know, just to reflect on what your heart most wants right now around home, family, and ancestral healing for some of you. Then we have the last third of the month, actually begins on the 17th of the month, a bunch of Leo transits and Leo energy. Capricorn, which is so beautiful because who doesn't love the fire of Leo? It's just very inspiring and childlike and gets us into fun mode, laughter mode. Mercury, I just got an image of my 9-month-old grandson when I said that. Oh my God, what a doll. If I could just take a moment to say, what a doll. That's all I can say. If you saw all of the connections in our charts, the synastry connections, it blows me away. But I know I'm just being a gushing grandmother right now. Okay, so Mercury retrograde in Leo, that happens on the 17th. That's in your 8th house of shared resources, money, time, energy. It's a relationship and a financial house. It's intimacy, emotional and sexual, taxes, loans, investments, paying off debts, all of that. That's what you may be rethinking. It's also transformation, death, and rebirth. It is a house of shedding a skin. Mercury retrograde here may have you thinking, rethinking anything to do with investment or real estate, selling or buying a home, or a partnership. The new moon in Leo is in the same house. The Mercury Cazimi, the Sun conjunct Mercury retrograde, bringing us divine downloads. That's in your 8th house. So a lot of action in your 8th house, Capricorn, this month, that is focused on what we're emotionally attached to, the physical things in life, the money, our assets, the things that we depend on an emotional level, and also what we depend on in our relationships, the things that bring us a sense of deep satisfaction, like intimacy. So this is where all the action is going to be for you for the last third of the month. And what is it? It may bring you into a deep place, or it may just have you talking to a financial advisor, setting intentions with the new moon here. Maybe realizing that some emotional attachment is old for you and you don't need it anymore. Some of you could be in some sort of a separation phase with a partner, that's possible, or separating, things that you own together, that kind of thing, that could be going on as well. Not all of you by any means, but the 8th house, handles those matters as well. And then finally, Capricorn, Venus will join Jupiter in your 7th house. And as I said earlier, it's beautiful. So overall, beautiful for partnerships of all kinds. Overall, this month you are balancing home and family and your career identity, or the roles that you play, life purpose express, retirement, the things you do if you're retired, how you spend your time. You're balancing all of that. Also, there are themes of your health and your daily work and your lifestyle that are being highlighted. And you're getting a lot of wonderful energy from Uranus and Venus in that 6th house of lifestyle. So what kind of lifestyle do you want? You want to change it? Is it good for you? Or what Uranus is saying, we got to change something up here. But this is happening over a 7-year period. So you may not be restless and want change in your 6th house areas yet. Just depends on how these energies are impacting your natal astrology chart, Capricorn, which is something, of course, that I can illuminate for you in an astrology consultation. So let me pull a card for you now, Capricorn. And your card is blessings are showering your life, rainbow blessings. This is so cool. This is that beautiful Cancer energy that you're getting in your 7th house of partnerships. You are in a time of the metaphorical rainbow. How cool is this? What I love about this card is it is a portal. It's definitely a portal. You are definitely going through a passageway. It could feel that way with the full moon in your sign. It could feel like you're entering a new phase of your life. Saturn and Neptune going retrograde, Saturn and Neptune and Aries are squaring your energy. That does show us that you're being activated by Saturn and Neptune right now. Blessings are showering your life. Beautiful Capricorn. If you want to claim your blessings, let us know in the comments below. I would love to hear. Sagittarius, Sagittarius, beautiful Sagittarius. Beautiful Sag. It's worth it to me just for that laugh at the end. That raises my vibration. I hope it raises your vibration too. Beautiful Sag. This is going to be an expansive month for you, I believe. I believe this is going to be invigorating. There are themes of expansion of career, life purpose, creative expression, and I will illuminate those for you right now. The month opens with Jupiter, your ruler, in Cancer, and Also, of course, the sun is here for the first 3 weeks of the month in Cancer, and this is happening in your 8th house. Jupiter in the 8th house is lovely, lovely, lovely. It expands things like money from others. Sometimes we get inheritances with Jupiter in our 8th house, or we just get gifts and things from other people. We get new clients. You could shift from a partnership to a live-in partnership or a marriage. You move in together. That can happen with the 8th house as well. Or there can just be a lot more generosity flowing through your life. Maybe you giving to others, others giving to you. That can be really lovely with Jupiter transiting your 8th house. Uranus in Gemini and Venus in Gemini are both entering your 7th house of partnerships this month of July. Partnerships of all kinds, committed, whether it's a business partner, a romance, or somebody important in your life. Clients too. It's spicing up your life, Uranus, going through your 7th house. Yes, sometimes it can bring unexpected breakups. That's true. But with Venus here, it's more likely to be unexpected romantic surprises, unexpected love, people that you meet that are different from your usual type, or you're different from your usual friends even. Sometimes it can be, Sag, just moments that happen that are very fun and joyful for you, and that, bring about a special novelty or joy in the moment that lasts, that linger for a bit. So I think you're really going to love this. And of course, Uranus is going to be moving through your 7th house for a good 7 years, all the way until May of 2033, which is actually an 8-year period, but it's altogether 7 years with retrogrades. And so, expect the unexpected in your 7th house of partnerships over the next 7 years, Sag. It can be exciting and stimulating, discombobulating, disruptive, any of that. We have a full moon in Capricorn that is going to happen in your 2nd house of money. It's also the house of deserving, self-worth. The 2nd house is our material possessions. It's where we source our security, basically the house of self-reliance, and where we align our life with our values. So a full moon here is something ending, completing, or manifesting in your material reality. And that could have to do with income. That could have to do with a job. That could have to do with getting a new job or a promotion. The full moon trines Mars in Virgo, which is transiting your 10th house of career. So it might be career related, or if you're retired, it could be just how you spend your time, or what I like to call life purpose expressed, legacy. But most likely for you, because Mars is making a trine to the energy there, it is bringing something in, or completing something, or like a graduation kind of moment for you that is in some way tied to career or purpose for you. Mercury retrograde in Leo. We're having the sun enter Leo. Mercury will retrograde in Leo, and then we have a new moon in Leo, and we also have a Mercury cazimi in Leo. And this is all happening for you in your 9th house of expansion, Sag. The 9th house is your energy, traditionally ruled by Jupiter. It's so beautiful. How do you want to expand, Sag? Leo trines your energy. It's Leo's fire to your fire. It's very sparkful for you. The 9th house is supporting you in long distance travel, adventures, publishing, teaching, any kind of speaking, broadcasting. And especially it's often tied to or connected to our spiritual philosophy, or any kind of philosophy, any kind of beliefs that where we want to share our enthusiasm, Sag. We want to share what our own sense of mission is, often here in the 9th house. Or we want to take a trip. We want to see new scenery. So much support for you to do any of that, including doing some sort of a learning program, because it's a new moon. It's setting intentions for what you want to create. And again, you're getting a trine. And yes, Pluto in Aquarius is opposing it, but at the same time, and it could mean that there's a boundary for you to set, or there's something for you to let go of or release, something toxic. But Pluto in Aquarius is air, and your fire is harmonious. So you may not feel the Pluto aspect of that new moon at all. And it's trining Saturn and Neptune in your 5th house of creative projects and unbridled free expression, children, love, romance, and all things joyful and, laughter producing. So I think that because Saturn and Neptune the trine is very supportive to the new moon, but at the same time, they're retrograding. So you may feel like, well, you've been really fired up about something creative, or you've been really excited about starting a family, or having children, or a romance, and maybe that starts to wane a little bit, or maybe you're rethinking it or reflecting, reconsidering during these retrogrades. Or maybe you're just feeling more internal about it all right now. And then finally, Sag, ask yourself what you want to experience that's new and different and makes you feel expansive. Because that's all what the Leo energy is supporting you to do. And because Uranus can sometimes make us feel restless, and I think you're going to feel it in your opposing sign, you may want to really think about an adventure if you're partnered. How can you and your partner spice things up? Or do you need more freedom with each other? Do you need to, both pursue something that's different or together? Or maybe you want to take a course. Any of these things. You might really get bitten by the travel bug with all this Leo energy in your 9th house. So Sag, let us now pull a card for you and see what the cards have to say. For you, beautiful Sag. Rejuvenating rain. She is sitting by a waterfall. She is cleansing. Clear the past, heal the present. The full moon in Capricorn is receiving a trine from Mars in Virgo, and Mars in Virgo is often connected to detoxifying, purifying, cleansing. So this card could resonate for you in that way. That full moon is happening for you in your 2nd house of money. So there could be a money story, narrative, your relationship to money or to self-worth or deserving that could be ready to shift for you. Or maybe you're cleansing or releasing or shifting something in career. If anything that I'm sharing with you resonates, beautiful Sag, let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear. And you may just be inspired to go to someplace tropical or to go near water and spend some time this month just rejuvenating your energy. Whatever it is for you, if you want to share, beautiful Sag, I'd love to hear. Scorpio. Hello, beautiful Scorpio. Scorpio, the month of July is going to be very interesting. You could have some unusual partnership interactions. You're getting wonderful Jupiter support from Jupiter in Cancer and Venus in Cancer. And career matters are highlighted for you as well. So let me share with you. First of all, Venus is going to conjoin Uranus in Taurus in your 7th house of partnerships. So expect the unexpected in love or romance or business partnerships. Expect that things may go differently than you plan. If you are planning any sort of proposal, just know that with Venus conjunct Uranus, it often comes out differently than you wanted it to. But you can also have some unexpected, really fun and exciting moments with Venus conjunct Uranus in your 7th house. Financial fluctuation, that could be part of this as well. Jupiter in Cancer trines your energy, and this is now happening. It's been going on since June. Jupiter in Cancer in your 9th house of expansion. The sun will be here as well in Cancer for the first 3 weeks of the month. And this is beautiful flowing energy for you. Expansion, adventure, higher learning, any sort of learning program, spiritual blessings, feeling expanded, feeling open, feeling that you're getting the new scenery, the new horizons, the internal freedom that you need, shifting belief systems. That could be part of it. Learning astrology, anything that makes you feel like things are opening up for you. That's this energy, and it's really beautiful. And at the end of this month, Venus is going to move into Cancer, and you're going to have both Venus and Jupiter in your 9th house. So if you do want to travel abroad, if you do want to start some sort of metaphysical learning program or get a PhD, if you do want to, just explore something that you haven't explored before, this is a beautiful time to do it. Uranus in Gemini, an epic transit. It's happening for you in your 8th house of death and rebirth, transformation, emotional attachments, financial resources, shared time, money, and energy with others, and also emotional and sexual intimacy. It's the house of emotional attachments because these are the things that we are very primally attached to, right, Scorpio? So with Uranus transiting here, expect fluctuations potentially in, what you own, in possibly investments. You could unexpectedly decide to sell a piece of real estate or sell your home, for example. You could unexpectedly decide to invest in something that you wouldn't normally invest in. Venus is going to transit Gemini as well this month of July, and I believe that's going to soften any disruption or jolt that we might get from Uranus going into Gemini. So that's good news. The full moon in Capricorn, Scorpio, it makes a lovely sextile to your energy. Capricorn's earth to your water. And this is happening in the third house of your local environment, your mindset, communication, siblings, aunts, uncles, cousins, neighbors, landlords, mortgage brokers, websites, freelance work, your devices, your vehicles, short trips. A full moon here is saying there's something wrapping up, ending, completing, or manifesting in your local world, in your neighborhood, with the people that you interact with on a regular basis. Or maybe you're launching a business. Maybe you are signing a lease. I don't recommend signing leases during a Mercury retrograde, but for many people, if it's something they've been working on for some time, building up to, you found your place a long time ago or before the retrograde, for many people, it's okay. You just ultimately have to, of course, trust your own intuition. You're getting extra support during this full moon from the energies in your 11th house of friendships, allies, community groups, online support groups, or communities. This is also the house of hopes, wishes, and dreams, long-term gains, and any way that you might promote or brand your work. So those both are tied together. This is a great overall full moon for you in terms of feeling supported and feeling like you're able to, do something that is really good for you business-wise or in your local community or with friends or putting a message out into the world. And then the energy shifts. The energy shifts as Mercury retrogrades in Leo. And then the sun enters Leo. And then we have a new moon in Leo. And then we have a Mercury cazimi in Leo. Where is this all happening for you? In your 10th house of career. Life purpose expressed. Retirement or semi-retirement. Legacy. How you spend your time. This is the big picture of the most public part of your chart, where we often we invest a lot of time and energy often here. So what does it mean? It means that we're rethinking, and where it means that we're having communication around career or what your heart wants to express, where you want to spend your time, how you want to use your energy, what's most important to you, your own expression. This is where we're having a new moon, where you're supported to plant seeds of intention here on what you want to create. That is going to make your heart sing. And same with the Mercury cazimi. It can be an aha moment, a realization, inner death and rebirth moment. Very, very beautiful. This is why I say that career or legacy or life purpose is going to be up for a lot of you this month. But remember, new moons are quiet times. We can't see the moon in the sky. It can be times when people actually feel a bit, stuck because something is moving. We're deliberating, we're reflecting. There's something, they're quiet. They're often very, very quiet. Even in Leo energy, Leo's not quiet. Leo's fire, Leo's movement. So move your energy if you feel any sort of stagnancy or depression or gloominess. Move your body, dance, move your energy. That will really help. Especially because this new moon and the Mercury retrograde energy and the cazimi, they all square your energy, Scorpio. And squares our tension and pressure, and they motivate us to take action. But because it's a retrograde with Mercury, sometimes, that action is more physical, or we do it through journaling. We do it through things that are more reflective, not so much as like launching something. Scorpio, I think it's time to pull a card for you now. I think this is going to be a month that you receive some sort of awakening, realization, epiphany. I think there's going to be some change for you this month, but I think you're going to have a beautiful full moon and you're going to feel supported. Okay, Scorpio. Scorpio, your card is infinite abundance. Abundance is pouring into your life. What I love about this card is everyone is working together to receive the abundance. You're not doing it alone. It's so cool. And, you know, this ties into that full moon in Capricorn, which is being supported by your 11th house allies, friendships, community. So how cool is that? Really pay attention around this full moon time, which is the 10th of July. I believe all the dates are in the first part of this video. Pay attention around that time because you're getting support for abundance, which is so cool. And Uranus and Venus moving into your 8th house, which is the financial house, this is saying this is the time for abundance. So you definitely want to make sure that your mindset is framing your life in abundant ways. Scorpio, if you want to claim your abundance, in the comments below, let us know. I'd love to hear. Libra. Hello, beautiful Libra. Hello, Libra. I am so excited to share with you that Uranus and Venus in Gemini this month, moving into Gemini this month, are going to trine your energy, which is such lovely flow. But before I go there, I want to tell you overall, this is a time to expand and open up to a new dream. That's my headline for you. A time to expand and open up to a new heart's desire, new horizon. The month opens with the sun in Cancer, the first 3 weeks, and Jupiter in Cancer in your 10th house of career. Jupiter moving through your 10th house of career is very supportive of connections that will help you in your career, legacy, life purpose expressed, retirement, semi-retirement, how you spend your time. Really, really nice energy for you. And at the end of the month, Venus will move into Cancer as well. So you're getting a lot of support in this area of the most public area of your chart, which is, you know, where you are doing what you love, ideally, or if not doing what you love, where you're supported to begin to move into something that will bring you meaning, meaning and fulfillment. There is square energy with the Cancer energy to your energy, which is a sense of pressure or tension, but sometimes that's the only way that we make a move to change this area of our life, is if we feel some pressure. So it's meant to support you. There's also pressure from Saturn and Neptune transiting your 7th house of partnerships. Are you feeling this, Leo? I'm asking you because Saturn and Neptune will turn retrograde, but their conjunction together is an epic conjunction for everyone in the collective. It's part of the new era energy. Very important. And for you in your 7th house of partnerships, it is really helping you to make a dream real, whether it's a partnership dream, a business alliance, new people coming into your life, changing a relationship dynamic perhaps. Saturn and Neptune, they don't let us stick with something that is not healthy for us or isn't in our highest good. So you could be feeling that too. An old way of being, a partnership dynamic, a person could be drifting out of your life during this time as well. The retrograde means we're thinking more, it's becoming more internal. We're rethinking, reflecting, fine-tuning, whatever that vision is for you. Uranus in Gemini and Venus in Gemini will transit your 9th house of expansion, Leo. What a beautiful place to have Uranus in the 9th house. A lot of people are going to do, Libras are going to do more travel, more long distance, exotic, faraway place travel, or whatever brings you freedom and adventure, whatever feels like a new horizon to you. It trines your energy. It really is supporting you to do any sort of learning program, get new scenery in your life, anything that really feels like it frees you. It expands you. It's an expansive house, and it's a house of blessings as well. So how gorgeous is that? If you felt stuck, Libra, I know a lot of Libras have felt stuck. A lot of Libras have felt like ever since we had all those eclipses on the Libra-Aries axis, a lot of Libras have just been trying to change things up, and it hasn't been easy. Well, with Uranus and Gemini trining your energy, and Venus here too in July, Very, very supportive for that. Know that Uranus is only going to activate you when it trines a planet or point in your energy, Libra. So if you don't have anything in the low degrees of your sign, it may take longer. Depending on all the other energies in your chart, I can help you see what that is for you in an astrology consultation. The full moon in Capricorn is happening in your 4th house of home and family. It is a beautiful full moon. It's supporting you to complete or end something. Some of you will move, some of you will remodel, some of you are completing some sort of project in your home or family. Someone could be moving out of your home. You could have someone who lives with you graduating. You could be moving into a house that you built. This is a full circle completion manifestation moment, ending chapter, closing out for you. It's also a really good time if none of that having to do with your physical home or people in your home resonates. Or it's a really good time to do healing with a family member or healing on your own ancestral line, healing with a family, like somebody who's passed on to the other side, but with whom you never, you didn't get to heal the relationship while they were here. It's supported, this full moon, by the energy in your 12th house, Mars traveling through your 12th house. So you could have some deep, intense dreams during this time, some real epiphanies, aha moments that awaken you. It's very supportive. And this could be talking to someone on the other side for sure, or taking you back to a past life memory and healing through that. And then finally, Libra, your energy is going to get sparked by the fire energy of Leo. Mercury will turn retrograde in Leo in your 11th house. The new moon will happen in your 11th house. That's setting intentions for a hope, wish, or dream, long-term gains, financial gains, friendships, supportive groups, online communities, online dating for some of you, promoting or branding something, planning travel. The world is your oyster. That's the 11th house. So with a Mercury retrograde here and a new moon here and a Mercury cazimi here at the very end of the month, the sun and coming together with Mercury retrograde, and the fact that Leo energy makes a lovely sextile to your energy, this is really encouraging you. This is where I got my headline for you, opening up to a new dream. It's really encouraging you to connect to what is going to light up your heart, Libra, and say yes to it. And it could be a new friendship. It could be deepening a partnership with a friendship. It could be meeting someone through dating, new love and romance, something that you're creating, expressing, putting out into the world, something that you're talking about through a social media platform where you're gaining followers or supporters, any of that. Very, very beautiful. So Libra, what do you think? How does that all ring for you? Does that shape in your mind? I feel like this is a lot of really supportive energy in various areas of your life. That is something to celebrate. Very expansive for you. So let us now see what the cards have to say for you, beautiful Libra. Your card is answering the call. The time is now. You are being called. I'm not surprised. I mean, what do we have? Uranus going into your 9th house of get out the door and answer the call of your soul, new horizons. Venus there too. And then we have all this Leo energy in the 11th house of what is your new dream? I'm not surprised. Answering the call of your soul. My book, The Magic of Saying Yes, is all about answering the call. That is the subtitle of my book. So I highly encourage you, if you could use some support, check out the book. It's linked in the description box below. And there are lots of stories from my own life and exercises and different ways to support you to answer the call of your own soul, beautiful Libra. If you know what is calling to you, let us know in the comments below if you want to share, or if you just want to claim that you are stepping into a new chapter of your life. Let us know. You will inspire all of us. Virgo, hello, beautiful Virgo. Virgo, I think this month is going to be enlightening for you. Why do I say enlightening? Because Uranus has been transiting your 9th house of expansion, This is often where we receive something unexpected with Uranus going through the ninth house. Have you done any exotic travel or traveling to other places? Have you done any sort of learning program? Have you gotten new scenery? Have you stepped into a new horizon? Have you learned more about astrology? Have you learned more? Has your soul grown while Uranus has been in Taurus in your ninth house? Well, Venus is now making a conjunction. They're meeting up. And this is unexpected blessings a lot of the time, an unexpected gift, an opportunity, something very sweet. Just know that Venus with Uranus can bring something that is really surprising, like meeting somebody who lives in another country or meeting somebody, somebody romantic that we learn a lot from, but they're not our usual type of person. That could happen as well. Jupiter is in Cancer, where the sun is for the first 3 weeks of this month, in your 11th house of fulfillment. And Venus is going to move into Cancer at the end of the month, and then you'll have Jupiter and Venus there. And this is really beautiful energy for you, Virgo, to choose you, to choose your heart, to do something that fulfills you. This includes a lot of different things. It's friendships and community support. Jupiter here, you are likely getting a lot of support from people who care about you or people who resonate with you, like-minded people, tribe, as we say. But also, you could be feeling like you're getting a lot of Jupiterian divine downloads or wisdom, protection, gifts in this area. And it also includes an online presence, if you have an online presence or if you have followers or you put your work out into the world in any way, if you uh, have any sort of platform or you're promoting anything, you're branding anything. It's also long-term financial gains, and you get a sextile from the Cancer energy to your energy, Virgo. So that's really nice. And then we have Uranus entering Gemini and Venus entering Gemini in your 10th house of career. So my question for you is, how do you feel about career? Or if you don't have a career, how do you feel about how you spend your time? If you're retired or semi-retired, do you feel stagnant in sort of your everyday, what you're putting your time and energy into? In the 10th house, we're meant to have a vocation or a passion or to receive some meaning and fulfillment from what we spend most of our time doing. I'm asking you this because your energy and Gemini energy square each other. That's tension, that's pressure. That's something that needs to be rectified. That is something that needs to be softened or fine-tuned. And often that means some sort of change. And over the next 7 years until May of 2033, it's an 8-year span of time altogether. Take out the retrogrades, it's 7 years. Over this period of time until May of 2033, Uranus will be in your 10th house of career saying, let's do something that lights us up, that is more stimulating. And you need stimulation, Virgo, because you're ruled by Mercury. So your mind does have to be fed. And if it's not being fed, you're going to be restless. And that is a hallmark symptom of Uranus and Gemini, which I talk about in my latest Uranus and Gemini video. I have 2 videos for you on this exciting transit that you may want to watch. I talk about different things in both videos. Now, the full moon in Capricorn is going to trine your energy, Virgo. You're both Earth, and it's happening in your 5th house of children, creative projects, love, and romance. I love, love, love this full moon. There's nothing I can say about it that's difficult or challenging, and it's happening in, to me, the best house of the zodiac, the 5th house. So I think this is just going to be a gorgeous full moon for you all around. Do what makes you light up. Do what makes you laugh, what brings you joy. Do that. Any of those areas. And full moons are endings, completions, culminations, graduation moments, manifestations. So attend to your creativity, play with art, go on a date. This is a good time too, if you want to have a child, to make love. I mean, any of these things. It will be a fertile full moon for sure. Now, Mars is going to make a conjunction to the South Node in Virgo, and I bring this up because South Node is in your sign, and this is happening in your 1st house. And when they conjoin, it can be a moment of fate. It can be a moment of karmic clearing, the South Node in Virgo, I have a whole video for you on the North and South Node transit right that we're having right now. But the South Node in your sign is encouraging you and all of us to release the shadow of Virgo energy, which is, not being able to see the forest from the trees, being too detail focused, being too much of a perfectionist, feeling like you have to get everything just right to be okay or loved or successful. And you don't have to be a Virgo to feel this energy. Any planets or points in Virgo, most of us feel it where we have that for Virgos especially, and especially Virgo risings having this in your first house of the self. Mars making a conjunction here could be a moment of you cutting ties to something or someone. You could be ending a role, quitting a job, ending a relationship, or you could have a really amazing realization about a grievance you've been holding against yourself, or where you've been too hard on yourself. And also be extra mindful, because Mars conjunct the South Node can sometimes be something physical, like a physical mishap, like falling or something like that. I don't want to put that out there, but just know that this is a really good time for self-care and to just be very aware when you're walking. If you're like I do, I walk in the forest a lot around the neighborhood I'm in now, and there are a lot of tree roots that I don't see, and I stumble over them sometimes. So things like that. I want you to be safe, Virgo. Good way to use this energy, though, would be to do some sort of a workout or yoga practice. So then we get a bunch of Leo energy. And the first thing is going to be Mercury turning retrograde in Leo in your 12th house. Then we have a new moon in Leo in your 12th house, and then Mercury retrograde Cassimi in your 12th house. What does this all mean? It means that your 12th house is very activated from the 17th of the month on, and especially when the sun moves into the 12th house, when Leo season begins. I believe that's on the 22nd. All the dates are in the first part of this video, and then we have the Cazimi at the very end of the month. You are meant to receive some realization, or maybe you're doing some re-scripting, reprogramming of your subconscious mind. Maybe you are having some real intense dreams, but illuminating dreams. Maybe you are really wanting to expand spiritually, starting a new spiritual practice. That's very supported by the new moon. It's very likely you would get an epiphany or some sort of awareness, opening up to new possibilities, rewriting the story or your inner narrative during this very, very energetic Leo time, Virgo. So overall, I think you're going to love the full moon. There are themes around restlessness or change, or rethinking career, changing it up in career, all the wonderful Jupiter energy in your, and Venus at the end of the month energy in your 11th house of fulfillment. Very, very supportive for you. Very spiritual for you, I believe, this, especially with all the Leo energy in your 12th house of rest and retreat. So you may actually really want to take some sort of time out the second half of July and just be, Virgo. Just be, whatever that means for you. Let's see what the cards have to say for you, Virgo. Discovering truth. You stand in the light of truth. Epiphanies, realizations, discoveries. Some of that I touched on in your reading. All of the energy in your 12th house. Also, the new moon in Leo, it makes an opposition to Pluto in Aquarius. Pluto is when we often see a truth that we didn't see before. So that could happen for you. And you can see in this card, these people are talking, and this is my version of what I see in the card anyway. You can tell me if you see something different, Virgo, or anything you want to share in the comments. But what I see is he's overhearing a conversation, and he understands something that he didn't understand before. So many different ways that we can receive a truth, right, from the divine. But whatever the truth is for you, it will likely strengthen you, Leo energy. It will strengthen you in a way that maybe you didn't feel as strong before. And I'm getting this sense of like a strong backbone and standing up and standing for something, taking a stand for your life. The light of truth shall set you free. Beautiful Virgo, if you want to claim truth setting you free or anything else in the comments below, let us know. I would love to hear. My beautiful friend, thank you so much for joining me for this July astrology, the key transits and dates, and your 12 sign horoscopes. Thank you for giving this video a thumbs up, for liking the video, for sharing it with people who love astrology, for commenting, for subscribing to the channel. When you subscribe, you help trigger the algorithm to share this video with more people who get ignited just like you by astrology, and you really do make a huge difference to my work and this community that we're creating together. If you would like to do a one-on-one astrology consultation with me, we meet on Zoom. There are lots of choices. Go to my website, check out the testimonials that other clients have shared after working with me. We can do a heart's desire, a life purpose, a natal chart reading, a relationship synastry. We can do a 90-minute astrology consultation if you would like to discuss anything in more depth, the things that are most concerning you in your life right now. I will share with you the most important things I see in your chart, and we will go over the transits as well. And most important, it is always my intention to empower you through your astrology consultation and to validate anything that you're going through that may be challenging. So go to my website, check out my offerings. I also offer clarity coaching sessions, and it will be my absolute joy to meet you on Zoom. I have a free gift for you, and that free gift is a soothing guided meditation that will connect you with your intuitive guidance, but also your spiritual guides, the unconditional love of the divine. If you would like to receive that and have that experience, go to my website, subscribe for free to my weekly inspirational astrology updates, and you will get your free instant download at the same time. My beautiful friend, let me know what you are thinking or feeling about July's astrology. Are you ready for Uranus and Gemini? I love hearing your thoughts and comments. Thank you for being part of this community. And until my next video, I'm sending you all my love.